Cricket season is here, and that means the Big Bash is back.
The Melbourne Renegades can now celebrate being WBBL champions.
BBL 14 champions, the Hobart Hurricanes!
Renegades wicketkeeper Nicole Faltum is in the studio.
Outside edge, great grab, really excellent grab behind the stumps.
And our special guest is Thunder International Heather Knight to join us to preview WBBL 11. This is The Surge. How good is it? Cricket is back, and so is The Surge for season number 2 ahead of WBBL 11. I'm Adam White, and it's great to be back. And it's great to be joined by my co-host today, as I said, Nicole Faltum, who is the star of The Renegades. It's hard to say that, but not only, Nicole, are you a star of The Renegades, you're a premiership star of The Renegades. That sounds pretty cool.
Thanks, Whitey. Thanks for having me on. And it is pretty cool when you hear people say that, and it's been nice to reflect on it the last little bit.
Which we will be doing in the show, because there's been a very special thing that's happened for the Renegades that was unveiled yesterday, and there'll be more of that to talk about shortly. But putting on the red again, does it bring back memories straight away as to the special things that happened last year?
Yeah, it definitely does. It's really nice to put back on the Renegades kit and get undergoing, which we did at the start of this week. It's kind of been full steam ahead, really. It's always a hectic time of year and it's a really busy period. Really excited to get underway and play our first game on Sunday as well.
Because you had people coming from everywhere. It's not like it's just a Victorian team. So some of your Victorian teammates are there, but it is a very different feel when you see everyone around the City Power Centre wearing red. And it is an exciting time for you, because it is a chance to think back to what you did do, but also what you could do again.
Yeah, definitely. And like you said, I feel like we do have a lot of different people coming from so many different parts of the country and the world, to be fair. So we've obviously got, some key players from Tassie, and then we've got players from South Australia. We've got New South Wales. So they're coming from everywhere, from Perth. It's been really nice to come together, and our internationals are in town as well. We've obviously got our 3 English players, and then Deandra Dotton's back, which personally I'm a little bit excited about. It'd be really nice to be back with my little best friend. So she's been great so far. Really excited to get underway. And like you said, it's been really nice to reflect on what has been last season. But the messaging has been pretty clear that it's time to move forward and to look ahead and try and do it again in WBBL 11.
Well, we won't tell Simon Helmet that we are going to do a bit of reflecting back just for this show, and then we can sort of perhaps move forward. Just getting into a new season, you've had some cricket for Victoria with the WNCL. There's been the Spring Challenge as well to sort of get yourself ready for this time of year. So you've had that domestic feel, whereas there's players coming back from the World Cup, Australian players, international players. Heather Knight, who has said she'll join us, so she'll talk about how tired she is coming back from India, or coming from India. I don't think she's even gone home since the World Cup. Do you think that that's a bit of an advantage for the Australian domestic players, that you might be a bit fresher?
Yeah, potentially. And like you said, I feel like there's actually been a lot of cricket played already for so many different people. Obviously all of the girls who have been over at the World Cup and have been in India for quite a long period of time, I think potentially they will be a little bit tired and a bit fatigued, but the WBBL is such an exciting time of year. I think whatever state you're in, whether you're tired, whether you're excited, whether you're looking forward to it, I feel like it just brings the best out of people. And it's such an exciting time of year. So hopefully everyone will be up and raring to go. But from a personal point of view, I feel like I've been pretty busy as well, played a little bit of cricket and have been for the last couple of months, really.
Yeah, there's a winter start for you with all your Australian duties as well. Yeah,
so it feels like a bit of a long time I've been playing for, but really excited, and it was really nice last week, whenever it was the Spring Challenge, to get together as a Renegades core group of players, and we had a little taste of success up there as well, so that was nice. We only won 1 game in the Spring Challenge last year, so to win a couple more was nice.
All right, so that was the Spring Challenge, and now we get ready this weekend for the WBBL to start for edition number 11. But we're going to go back and have a have a look at something that's pretty special. It's would you call it a movie or a documentary? Because you saw it at a movie theatre, so you're almost a movie star.
Yeah. Simon Helmet, our coach, actually got asked who he thought would be, and as did I got asked the same question, who he thought would be the movie star in our team. And he said, I said, I'm not sure how to take that. But I said, Millie Illingworth, she features a fair bit in this documentary or movie, whatever we want to roll with. And I said, she's got the gift of the gab. So I feel like that's definitely her.
All right, let's have a bit of a sample of Rise of the Renegades.
Straight into the furnace.
The Melbourne Renegades, this is a side that won only 2 games last season.
Cricket can take you so high and the next day take you so low as well.
Just feels different this year.
The women's game has grown amazingly. 21 players, it's a collective.
I didn't know that young people could have strokes. I had to learn how to walk, talk, eat again.
So much of this we want to be out there doing for her.
Here we go.
That is magnificent batting.
Another twist to the tail.
Gone!
This is a team that believes.
And taken. It's a big breakthrough.
She's bringing an inspired performance in a clutch moment.
This is why you play the game.
Are we ready to win? Are we ready to win? Are we ready to win?
So that's a bit of a taste of Rise of the Renegades. So, Nicole, how did you do it? How did you go from last to first?
It's an interesting question when people ask me that, because obviously last year was my first year at the Melbourne Renegades. So I actually didn't get a taste of probably the hardship and how hard it was for probably some of the more senior and key players in that team. I mean, I think they faced a few challenges for quite a number of years. So to jump onto the bandwagon was really cool, to be fair. But I feel like the approach from the leadership with obviously the GM Rocket, but then Simon Helmet and all of the coaching staff, I feel like they just embedded a massive sense of belief into all of the players. And I feel like that just rubbed off on everyone, from player to player, from coach to player, from player to coach. There was just a massive sense of connection, nearly. And yeah, Helmer's big thing was just trying to make everybody as clear as they possibly can be. I know personally, as soon as I walked into the Renegades on my very first day, I just felt a massive sense of belonging, and like Helmo just believed in me massively. And I think that definitely transferred into my game. It definitely helped me off field, but I reckon it directly correlates to success on the field as well.
Just watching the doco, you can see the power of momentum. And that happens in any tournament, in any sport. When you get on a bit of a roll, that belief just grows and grows and grows. But you've also, from a leadership point of view, whether it be coach, captain, the leaders within the team, you've still got to control that momentum, not get too ahead of yourself, and keep sort of a level head in tough situations. It just felt like every decision that was made was the right decision to keep that momentum rolling.
Yeah, definitely. Momentum is a massive thing, and we didn't have it at the start of the season.
No.
We lost our first 2 games. But like I said, from my very first day at the Renegades, I felt belief. And I've been in, lots of different teams over my career thus far. And people throw that around and, you can use the word, but I really did feel it. And I feel like a lot of other players really did feel that that sense of belief. And bravery, nearly. We were encouraged to play in a really brave way. We were encouraged to take the game on. We were encouraged to be really aggressive. And again, I've been in teams where, people try and push that. The leaders and the coach try and push that. It doesn't necessarily pay off, but I really feel like everyone bought in 100%, and that's kind of how we wanted to go about it. It's how we wanted to play. And it was really cool to see it translate into some success.
Talk to us about Simon Helmet, because whenever anyone mentions his name, big smile comes on the player's face, and he is known to have a bit of fun, but he can be pretty ruthless and pretty tough as well. Why has he been so important, not just to you, but to the team?
Yeah, I think just how genuine he is, to be completely honest with you. He, like I said, he has this amazing ability to just put this sense of belief into you. He obviously knows what you can do as a player, and as a player and as an athlete, you can doubt yourself a lot. You don't think you're ever as good as what you actually are. You're always striving to get better. You always look at the negative aspects of, what you do. But Helmer has this amazing ability to really pump you up, but in a really humbling way. And personally for me, he had a massive impact on me. But more broadly, I just feel like everything he does is actually really thought through. He's a ball of energy and he brings so much excitement and enthusiasm and knowledge. To be fair, he's coached around the world and he's been really successful. But yeah, he has an amazing ability to do that, but I also feel like it's thought through. He doesn't just do things because, it comes to his mind and that's just what he does, whereas I think some people do sometimes view it like that. But he has a real clear purpose and he's been an amazing coach and I'm really excited for him this season and hopefully he can bring some more success.
And the other part of the documentary that stood out to me was Sophie Molyneux and also Georgia Wareham. They've been there since the start, obviously unlike yourself, but to go through the lows and then the highs, for them to stick it out that whole time, it was obviously very significant for them that they would actually get that success at the end of it.
Yeah, I often speak about when people ask me about the premiership and winning it, and I always like to note Soph and Wolf. Sophie Molyneux, from a leadership point of view, is amazing. She's an incredible human and has had a really big impact on me personally for quite a number of years. We're obviously both Gippsland girls. And I looked up to Soph from, a really, really young age. She was always a couple of years older than me, but I always kind of wanted to do what Soph was doing and be involved with whatever she was doing. But yeah, for those two especially, to have been at the club for such a long period of time and to go through really hard times and battle not a lot of success and just their continued leadership, I feel they're always really consistent humans and they show up and they always just want the best for people. But yeah, their leadership was huge in winning the title last year. And yeah, incredible humans, but also on the field, both of them last year were phenomenal. I know Soph had an unbelievable season. Always with the ball, you can always guarantee that. She's always a really consistent performer, but with the bat last year, she was unbelievable in some games. And then Georgia Wareham, I mean, when you say that name, it speaks for itself, really. The way that she bowls, she fields, provides great energy and a real leader on the field. From a fielding point of view, she took control of all of our fielding stuff last year and worked really closely with Soph and Hayley Matthews in the leadership group. So, they were massive for WBBL last year. But yeah, they're Renegades through and through. And I'm so proud of them, particularly last year, but what they've been through previous years.
So finally, just on the doco, to see yourself in it, and you were in it a fair bit, what's it like to watch yourself on TV, sort of more that behind the scenes stuff as opposed to watching you play your beautiful cover drive, which is one of the best in the game?
Yeah, it is quite cool, to be honest. It's cool to just sit back and watch it from kind of like an outsider's point of view. Yeah. When you're in it and it's so high and the emotions are really high, and I forgot a lot of what had actually happened throughout last year. So sitting back last night and watching it on the movie screen, it was really cool. But yeah, it reminded me of so many moments that I completely forgot happened. And I said it was really cool. That was only a year ago that happened. Sounds a little bit, weird saying this, but watching it in, 30 or 40 years' time, I feel like is going to be really cool. And to look back on, what'll be probably a highlight of my life for a long period of time.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, you can watch Rise of the Renegades on the Big Bash app, 7plus or KO. So there's plenty of different ways where you can watch that great documentary, Rise of the Renegades. But it is now time to talk WBBL 11. But first, before we hear from Nicole, let's hear from the other players around the country on who they think will dominate the competition this season.
Player of the tournament will be... Let's go Megan Shoot.
Got her! It's through Jonathan. She swings across the line.
Let's go Meg. She's in good form.
Annabelle Sutherland.
I think potentially Annabelle Sutherland. They're probably going to be a popular answer. Yeah, she's been training the house down.
I'm going to say Phoebe Litchfield. Skipper last year, probably had a few things going around in her mind, but I think she's settled and ready to go. And just the way she's sort of going about her cricket is super exciting.
Oh. I'm going to say Deandra Dotton. I'm going to put it out there.
That has gone a mile.
Go with
Tessie Flintoff.
Uses her feet, goes down the ground, hits a really long, big ball for 6.
Player of the tournament will be Sophie Molyneux.
Georgia Bowl.
Well struck, that could go all the way for 6. Georgia Vole is hammering them.
That's what some of the players around the country thought about who will be the MVP. Nicole Faltum, who do you think will be the MVP?
I think it's always tough to predict these types of things.
Well, you're not allowed to sit on the fence. You've got to give me one name.
I think Beth Mooney. I mean, she's always a really consistent performer in my eyes. I feel like any team that she plays in, she always puts her hand up, whether it's in the field, whether it's with the gloves or whether it's with the bat. I feel like she's an unbelievable player, and I think she'll have a really good WBBL.
No, she is one of the stars of world cricket, not just here in Australia. I'm going to go with Georgia Vole. I really like her, and I love the way she plays her cricket as well, the destruction at the top of the order, and she can continue on that improvement trajectory from last year. She could be anything, I think. She's even, watching her in the WNCL against Victoria last year, the power that she's got without really trying too hard to hit the ball hard. She just hits it hard.
Yeah, definitely. She's a great player, volley, and being involved in around some really cool professional setups as late.
Yeah.
But, not played too often. Like, she's gotten a go here and there, but, not being in every team. So I'm sure she's really excited just to hopefully play every game for the Thunder and perform in those games as well. So I like that tip.
Yeah, relishing opportunity. Like, that sometimes it can just be you need that opportunity.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. We'll see who's right. Might be one of us. You never know. While we're talking about tipping, you can make sure you get your tips in for this Big Bash season with the BKT Big Bash tipping competition. It's free to play, and there are huge prizes to be won, including $15,000 for first place. So all you have to do, like last year, is download the Big Bash app to get involved. Now we get to the burning questions. This is the tough part. Now we've got Heather Knight to join us shortly, where we'll ask her some probing questions. But we're going to put you under the pump here, and it is Fort Weber, one of our new sponsors here for the Surge of this year. So we really appreciate Weber being involved throughout the course of the Surge in season 2. The first question for you, Nicole, is it's around the Adelaide Strikers. I'm going to ask you one question on each team. Can the South African international, Laura Volvaert, who was so good in the World Cup, can she be one of the stars of the competition this year and help the Strikers at least get into sort of finals calculations? Yeah,
I think definitely. Obviously coming off the back of the World Cup where she experienced some really big personal success, but probably more broadly, South Africa playing in that semi-final and doing really well, and then going on to play the final as well. I'm sure she'll be on cloud 9, and she's coming off some really good form. So my short answer would be definitely. I think she'll contribute really nicely.
I talked about your cover drive. I think that's pretty special, but hers, she might just have you covered.
I think she's well and truly got me covered, Whitey. I feel like a bit of a bias coming through there. She's world class. She's one of the best in the world, not just her cover drive, but her game more broadly.
No, she's very, very good. Okay, to the Brisbane Heat now, having made the final the last couple of seasons in the WBBL, do you think that they can go that one step further and maybe knock you off this year, or do you still think you've got them covered?
I hope no, to be completely honest with you. But yeah, they've got some really good talent. Obviously, Jess Jonason's a really key performer for them. And yeah, with her leadership and her contributions, I feel like they'll nudge for finals. They're always up there. They're always really competitive. I just think the talent that they've got, I feel like they've got quite a similar list, and they kind of always do. And probably being a single state as well, like a lot of the Queensland Fire girls would play for the Brisbane Heat. So, they're probably together for 12 months of the year, year round, probably play together a lot. But I mean, they've got talent like Grace Harris, and who can hit the ball in the women's game as far as anyone can. And in previous years, they've had Laura Harris, who's obviously jumped ship this year to the Thunder. So taking her out of that lineup will actually be quite big, I think. But yeah, they've just got such raw power and players who can really take the game away from you.
All right, to the Hurricanes now, and they've got the England captain now, Nat Sever-Brunt, to help. Do you think, or how much will that help for the team in purple?
Nat Sever-Brunt is world class. I mean, when you talk about the top performers in the female game, Nat Sever Brunt her name always gets thrown around. I talked about consistent performers before. She's one of them, and does it probably in all three facets of the game. I mean, with the bat, with the ball, and in the field, she's world class. I've been lucky enough to play with Nat actually. Don't know what WBBL it was, but she played at the Melbourne Stars at a time that I did, and she was awesome. She was really, really cool off the field and on the field. But yeah, what she brings on the field, I think it'll be dangerous to play against her.
All right, so it's good to see the England skipper in the WBBL this year with the Hurricanes. Now, what about your Renegades? We've talked a little bit about the Renegades, so we won't sort of spend too much more time.
Damn it, I was going to say we can go on and on and on.
Exactly. But no Hayley Matthews, and I know that's a big blow to you, and I know how excited the team was when she committed to come back off what she did last year. How can you cope without her?
Yeah, she will be a massive loss. I think there's no shying away from that fact, and not just how good she was last year, but how good she's been for the Renegades for a number of years. I mean, she's just keeps coming back to the Renegades. She, you hear her speak about her time at the Renegades. She absolutely loves it, and yeah, she became a really key player for us. So she'll be really missed this year, obviously. But yeah, we've obviously got some really cool talent joining us. Whilst we don't have her, we've gained 2 internationals in her spot, which I think adds some really good value. We have Davina Perrin, who absolutely dominated the 100. I think she's a really, really exciting young player, and I'm really excited to see what she does this year in the Big Bash. I hope it's lots and lots of runs. And we also have Izzy Wong, we have Caps back, and Deandra Dotton as well. So yeah, some really exciting names, and hopefully some players that can put in some big contributions on field.
Yeah, it's interesting because it's going to be a little bit different, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. Now, you talked about Beth Mooney and what she might do for the Scorchers. What about Katie Mack joining the Scorchers? What sort of impact do you think that'll have on that team?
Yeah, I think Katie Mack is probably one of the most underrated players in the WBBL, in my professional expert opinion. She's a 360 player who hits some really unique parts of the ground. I find she's a really hard player to set fields to. She's really brave. She takes the game on, and you probably have to bowl quite a different length to her, which being quite short, and then, like I mentioned, hit some unique parts of the ground. So I think she'll be really key for the Perth Scorchers, and yeah, working with Moons, I feel like they'll be a bit of a powerhouse.
Your old team, the Stars, can they finally get themselves up the table?
I hope not. But no, they do. They've got some really good talent. Obviously led by Annabelle Sutherland, who's absolutely world class. I mean, she's a really young captain, but she's played so much cricket around the world and dominates around the world as well. Reece McKenna, a really exciting young player. They've got some really cool young talent. So yeah, it'd be nice to see what they can do. My answer is probably no. I hope they don't make the finals, if I'm being completely honest. But yeah, it's obviously also really interesting, like some of your best mates play in that team and your Victorian teammates. So, I always want people to do really well. I always hope for personal successes, but probably team success not so much.
Good answer. Honest answer. And then finally the Thunder. And I must confess, I think they're the team to beat this year, and just the names of Vol and Adapadu and Litchfield, Knight, the list goes on. We'll talk to Heather Knight shortly about what she thinks, but how do you think they'll go this year with that sort of firepower?
Yeah, I think they do have firepower. I think they've got a really strong list. They've got some key players from an international point of view, but also from a domestic point of view. Like you said, they've got like Volley, Phoebe Litchfield at the top of the order, and then getting Laura Harris over. Adds some massive power. One of my little mates, Hazrat Gill, goes over from Victoria. I think she'll love the experience over there, and I'm excited for her to jump into that. But yeah, I think they'll be definitely up there this season and be a really strong competitor.
All right, you've done well. They're the burning questions.
Did we miss the Sixers? I'm not mad about it.
We did miss the Sixers. We did miss the Sixers. So, well, we've got to talk about the Sixers for a number of reasons, but largely Ash Gardner is going to take over as captain from Elise Perry. How do you think she'll go?
Yeah, I think Ash is an awesome leader. I haven't had loads to do with her from a leadership point of view, but, you watch her around the traps, you watch her in any teams. She's so passionate about what she does on the field and off the field as well. She's a great human, and, I'm excited to see what she does from a leadership and a captain point of view. in WBBL 11. But yeah, I've seen her around the Aussie Traps a little bit, and she's involved in like the leadership group there, and her contributions are really cool. So yeah, excited to see what she does.
Yeah, I'm excited as well because she had a great World Cup, and I'd like to see whether she can take her game to another level with leadership. Because often the ones that go under the radar when they're thrust into the spotlight with leadership can actually go to another level. And I reckon, particularly because she could do it with the bat and the ball, she could do anything really.
Yeah, I agree. And, you know, there's so many leaders in the game. And, you know, you don't necessarily have to have that C or VC next to your name. And I feel like Ash has probably been that person in the past for a number of teams that she's been involved in. So, yeah, for her to get the recognition and actually probably be able to make the decisions and do things that she wants to do, I think will be really cool for her.
We did that well in the burning questions. You're actually doing the hosting duties as well because I missed the sixes, so you did extremely well. Big tick. So those were the burning questions for our new friends, Weber, supporting the surge in WBBL 11. It is now time to talk to Heather Knight, star of not only the Thunder, but star of English cricket. And before we do speak to Heather, who's in Sydney ahead of the start of the season, we thought we'd have a little bit of Phoebe Litchfield talking about the significance of Heather Knight in the lime green.
She's awesome. Helped me a lot last year from a personal note for the captaincy, but I think her on-field leadership and just all-round cricketer experience, she brings so much more than just a classy bat and some tweaky offies. I think looking at her game, I really admire her ability to work the field around, and I think that's something that I've been working on. So seeing it firsthand last year, she's truly a master of her craft, just knows her strengths and is willing to pretty much take on the game and win the game for their team. I think some of the players spring to mind: Ray Chains, Meg Lanning, Heather Knight. It's those players that go, I'm going to win this game, and I think she has that ability.
So those were the burning questions for Weber, and it is great to have Weber on board with the surge this year. It is now time to talk to one of the superstars of women's cricket around the world, former England captain, former Thunder captain, and she's just come back from the World Cup. It is Heather Knight, and she joins us from Sydney. Heather, thanks very much for your time.
No worries. Good to see you guys.
Now, are you fresh? Are you ready to go? Or considering what you've just been doing over the last couple of months, do you even know what country you're in?
I do. It's been quite a quick turnaround, not going to lie. So I flew in to Sydney on Sunday via Dubai, India twice, Melbourne, night in Melbourne, and then to Sydney. So it's been a bit of a whirlwind trip. I'm still a bit jet lagged, but no, I'm ready. Like it's day one today. It's always really nice to get back together with the Thunder, obviously a team that I've played with a lot and know really well. So looking to build on the success that we've had the last couple of years.
Did you get to go home before you came out to Australia, or is it straight from India?
No, there wasn't enough time. So, just headed straight across. Got in on Sunday and a couple of days chilling out in Sydney and enjoying a bit of freedom, obviously, after being in India for a decent stint. So, no time to go home, but that's all good. That was always the plan, and looking forward to get cracking again.
What were your reflections of the World Cup? It was obviously a significant World Cup with India winning it at home. And I'll ask you about the significance of what that might mean for cricket shortly, but just your own personal reflections for England and your own experiences.
Yeah, like obviously for me, like it was quite a strange build-up, having pretty serious injury back in May it was. So it was pretty tight actually to make it out there. I was sort of still building up in the prep period leading up to the start of the World Cup. So yeah, just to be there, I was really determined just to try and enjoy it and try and embrace the opportunity because like, it was quite a real reality that I wasn't going to be there. So yeah, it was obviously nice to do that and contribute in some of the games and things like that. Obviously, how it finished with the semi-final and things was quite disappointing. South Africa played amazing and we didn't have our best game. So that was obviously frustrating. But I think obviously being there and having contributed, I was pretty happy. And I think it was a really cool tournament. Obviously, India winning. There's a pretty mad story as well, them losing 3 in the middle and having that comeback. And I think it'd be crazy for cricket in that country. I think it will take it to the next level. It's quite scary, probably, how many players they're going to unearth in the coming sort of decade. I know the team would have inspired a lot of young female cricketers there to get into the game and push on. So albeit very disappointed that kind of we went in the final and weren't there to obviously try and compete for that trophy. But I think India is quite cool for them. Obviously, being in a home World Cup and winning is going to do mad things for cricket in the country.
Yeah, so I was going to ask you about that. I was going to ask Nicole as well. What do you think it will do? I mean, we've seen the explosion of the IPL from the men's game, what it's meant for Indian cricket, but just with the women being able to win a home World Cup and the inspiration that comes with that. Can you actually put into words what it might mean for not just Indian cricket, but world cricket?
Oh, I think for Indian cricket, like it's going to increase their talent pool even more, isn't it? I think you see the depth that the men's team has. I think the WPL has helped with that, certainly in India, but I think it will continue to grow in that country. I think winning a home World Cup in England as well, obviously in 2017, I think the biggest change that it made in our country was the change in the decision makers' view of women's cricket. I think that was the biggest thing. It took a lot of time in England to kind of see those progressions happen. I think 2017 changed a lot of perceptions, particularly at the sort of board level and at the ECB and things, and that led to a lot of decisions that kind of helped the game kick on. I think the perceptions of the game, I think, are hugely important in pushing it forward, and I think that's changed a lot in recent years, but I think obviously India winning the World Cup out there will change a lot of perceptions in India and get so many more people following and supporting it and pushing it forward. So, yeah, it's kind of scary to think the amount of players they're going to have in the coming years. But, it's quite a cool thing. Obviously, everyone was there to try and win it and things like that. But I think it was maybe one team that I'd want to win outside of us. I think India probably would have been the one.
What about you, Nicole? What do you think it'll do for women's cricket around the world?
Yeah, I think Heather summed that up really nicely. And like she said, every country goes there wanting to win it. It's kind of the pinnacle. And countries obviously strive for that. And it obviously being only every 4 years, it is massive for cricket in general, but huge for those countries. So for India to win it, I feel if it was massive, and especially being on their home soil, having their probably like home crowd and inspiring the next generation, I think is really cool. And for those people to see it firsthand, as much as I'm probably the opposite to Heather, I would have much preferred Australia to win it. Obviously really cool for the Indians and for their country more broadly.
Heather, I know it was a 50-over World Cup, but there was quite a few WBBL stars that were playing over the last couple of months. Were you sort of half, obviously wanting to win the World Cup, but half got your eye on the players that you might be playing with or against over the next 6 weeks with what they were doing in India? Because a lot of the stars did fire.
Yeah, definitely. It was quite cool to see Phoebe's obviously play so well in that semi-final. Really happy for her that obviously just playing such key innings in a big game, and she's such a key player for us, obviously, with the Thunder. And there's always half an eye on who's doing well and who's going into the comp in good form and things like that. So I think it's really relevant, even though it's you're in form as a batter or bowler, like you take that into different competitions. So I think it's going to be a really cool competition. Obviously, there might be a few sort of tired people around after quite a big stint in India, but it's pretty easy to get up for the Big Bash. Everyone loves playing in this competition, like the internationals for sure. Love playing over here and competing. It's a real high quality competition. So I'm excited to see who does well, and hopefully some of our players carry the form into the Big Bash.
Well, let's get straight into Phoebe Litchfield, because it feels like she took her game to a whole new level through the World Cup. She's a teammate of yours, Nicole. You've played a lot of cricket with and against her. Where have you seen her improve? She's now the captain of the Thunder. She's still so young, but it feels like her game's just continuing to explode.
I've played a bit of underage stuff against Phoebes, and then more recently just been involved in and around some teams that she's been involved in. But she's an unbelievable human, firstly. She's a really, really great character, and I'm sure Heather can contest to that. But she's a ball of energy, but she really is authentically herself, which I really love. She works extremely hard. She's really hard on herself, but I think that really drives her game and really encourages herself to get better in what she does. But watching her in the World Cup, she was amazing. And I think she'll be a standout in this year's WBBL.
It just feels, Heather, that Phoebe's skill set is it's almost better than anyone else's with some of the things that she can do. I mean, the highlights package, even just from one of those matches where she scored the 100 with the switch hitting and all these sorts of things. It's not new to see it necessarily, but to see it on the big stage just shows the confidence she's got in her own game.
Yeah, I think playing against Phoebe's like she's really hard to set fields to because you're thinking she can pretty much bat left-handed and right-handed. So you're thinking, right, I need someone over there for that switch hit, and then you try and shut it down on one part of the pitch. And I think she's really developed that 360 game as well, and knowing when to use it, I think is a really good thing. She's obviously got all those shots, but I think knowing the bowlers to use them against, the conditions and the right time to use them, I think she's definitely improved on that. But yeah, I'm really excited to support her as captain again. I think she did a really good job last year. Obviously quite a young captain. And I think the biggest thing as captain is you want to look after your own game and score runs, and she did that brilliantly. And I think Nick's right, the amount of energy that she has is pretty crazy. And when she's in the field, she's just like sort of running around like a little lap dog. She always gets the highest on the GPS scores for sure. But yeah, I'm really excited to see her grow as a captain as well. I think she settled in really nicely last year. And I think one thing about Phoebe, she's always really keen to learn and like take on things. And I think you see that with her batting, like she's keen to keep improving and keep developing. And that's something that really stands you in good stead because the game is changing all the time and you have to sort of stay out there and stay ahead of the curve. So you definitely look for that in younger players to have that drive to keep pushing forward and keep developing their game. And I certainly see that in Phoebe's.
So Heather, your role with the Thunder as you have been the captain, Phoebe's now the captain, the role that you play as a mentor, you're doing a similar thing now for England as well. How much has that helped your own game to maybe focus on you a little bit more, but still be that, that person that can be used when required when it comes to leadership?
Yeah, it's quite nice. I really enjoyed it at the Thunder last year, just having a little bit less responsibilities, a little bit more time with less meetings and things like that. But I think the biggest thing as well, like, because when you're not captain, you don't obviously do as much prep in terms of plans and things like that. So you come into the game really fresh and you just read it, sort of what's in front of you, and you don't get influenced kind of by previous, where someone scores previously or things like that. You just sort of go on what's in front of you and what the wicket's doing and just reading the game in quite a pure way, which is quite nice actually. But yeah, obviously I'm around all season this year, which is really nice. I was only here for sort of I think 6 or 7 games I played last year, so it's quite cool to be here the whole time. And yeah, look, Phoebe does her own thing, but like I'm always there to support her if she needs an ear. And I know a lot of the team really well. I know the internationals pretty well. I'm just going to get in there that I'm the youngest international out of the 3, so it's quite rare for me in teams these days. I'm usually the older one. So yeah, obviously know Shabs and Atta really well, so you can sort of chat to them if need be. And yeah, it's just something that I'm quite enjoying. And yeah, it's gone pretty well for me runs wise, and obviously had a reasonable season last year in the short time that I was here. So looking to try and carry that on and try and contribute to the team having some success.
How do you find it, Nicole? Because playing for Victoria, you were doing everything. You're opening the batting, wicket keeping, captain, all those sorts of things. That when you get a chance just to be the player but still be a leader, does it help your game, or do you find it hard not making the decisions and sort of stepping back a little bit?
Yeah, I think there's definitely an element and a mix of both. I really enjoy captaining. I love thinking about the game in that way, but it took me a long time to get to that point. I think when I first started, I was horrendous. I really felt like it impacted my wicket keeping. I couldn't concentrate on all of the things I wanted to. I didn't know how to divide up my time, things like that. But as I did it more, felt more and more comfortable with it. But yeah, definitely when you're not doing it, there is more space to prioritise things that you'd want to focus on with your personal game and things like that. And then stepping outside of that, I then just try and be a natural leader. So just do things that I would normally do and, just try and be myself. And if I can provide whatever I do inside of what I do naturally, then if that's going to help other people, that's great. That's kind of the way that I look at it. And then, just trying to support, like Heather said, support the players or the captain when they want it, when they need it. I'm always really conscious not to be too overbearing. I know it's probably the same when you've got other captains or too many ideas, and it can be quite overwhelming at the best of times. So I just try and provide what I see when I see it, but only if really the other players want it.
Now, Nicole's got some very searching questions for you, Heather, some really probing questions, hopefully not too controversial.
Yeah, really, really hard-hitting questions.
But just as a general question around the Thunder, it feels like you've got a really strong team. You've certainly got a very entertaining and a team, lots of firepower. How do you feel going into this year's tournament as to what's possible?
Yeah, I'm really excited. I think we've obviously had quite a young team in the last couple of years, so seeing those girls keep improving and keep growing into their roles, I think is a really cool thing. I think we've recruited really well. Getting Laura Harris is a pretty cool thing. She's someone that's just X factor, and when you play against her, everyone sort of just holds their breath as she comes in because it might not be for a long time, but it's going to be fun and she's going to go pretty hard. So it's a pretty cool thing to have her in our team and add that thing that not a lot of people do, that power that she does have, and the way she can change a game is pretty crazy. So pretty pumped to have Laris on board. We're obviously missing HD. The news that she's going to be out is she's going to be a big loss for us. She obviously bowls a huge amount of those really important overs, bowls a lot of time in the surge and things like that. But I think what's really nice as well, we've kept a really good core of players over the last 3 years. Lisa Cartley, head coach here, has done a great job of keeping those girls together, and it feels like we're sort of growing each year. We've obviously made the finals the last 2 years, and we're really keen to do that again and hopefully go to the next step.
Okay, Nicole, it's your time.
Yeah, firstly, congratulations, Heather, on your World Cup. I thought you were really impressive, and it was really cool to see you out there doing your thing. You've mentioned Laura Harris there and some other key players. Georgia Vole obviously had a really impressive season last year in the WBBL. What do you make of her for the Thunder, and what are you really excited to see her do this upcoming season?
Yeah, Volley was a great addition last year. She really gave us that power at the top of the order. She's hugely impressive young player. Like, it feels like every opportunity she gets, she goes out and impresses and scores runs. And she's a cool character to have around the group. She's pretty chilled and constantly talking about her surfboard and coffee and things like that, and loves getting up early for sunsets. But she's hugely key for us. She sets the tone in the innings. I think we saw it was the MCG. She got that big score. Like, the way she played in that innings, just really aggressive from the start. She can take the game away from teams. So it's pretty cool to have her obviously at the top of the order, adding that impetus. So we're looking quite a rounded side, which is quite nice. So hopefully we can go out and do the business on the pitch.
Very nice. And you mentioned Laura Harris obviously coming across from the Brisbane Heat, a massive inclusion for you guys. What are you most excited to see her do for your lineup as a Thunder?
I'm looking forward to batting with her, to be honest. I think it'll be really fun just watching her at the other end go about her business. I think she doesn't take life too seriously, which is quite cool as well. I love that philosophy that she has, and like her ability to go from ball one, and her bravery is something that's quite rare actually and really hard to do. So I'm just looking forward to hopefully batting with her. I think I might try and steal the strike from her if we get together in the surge, because she doesn't need to have the fielding restrictions to hit sixes. I need a little bit more help with obviously the surge and having a few more gaps at the back end. But hopefully she's going to have some real impact for us. I think how we use her is going to be really interesting. I think my in the order and putting her in when obviously we feel like it's a really good option to put the foot down and really be aggressive against the opposition. So it's going to be good fun, and I'm looking forward to getting to know her off the pitch as well. I know Gracie, her sister, quite well, obviously playing with her at the Spirit and things. So I know Grace is a great character and love having her around, and I know Laura's very similar. So it should be good fun, and nice to obviously have her on board here at the Thunder.
I know it all starts for you on Sunday, but if we sort of push forward a little bit to Saturday week and the first Sydney smash, the rivalry is obvious. We don't need to talk about it when we're talking about the two teams from Sydney, but it's a bit more special for you as well, because one of your teammates becomes one of your fierce rivals next Saturday night. So how do you think you'll go with that?
Yeah, good. You're talking about dunks? Yes, of course. Yeah, number one in the draft.
A number one, that's right.
Number one in the
draft, prize recruit.
Cool. I love playing against Sixers. Like, it's always a really good rivalry, that Sydney smash and things like that. we obviously had some good games against them in recent years and things like that, and they've played pretty well as well. So yeah, it's going to be good fun. Obviously, having another game in Sydney is quite cool as well. You get to not travel too much, and Sydney's a city that I love playing in. So yeah, it's going to be good fun. I don't think there's going to be too much sort of stick or anything like that. Like obviously you play against and with players all the time, and yeah, Dunks is someone that I'm pretty close with. So yeah, I'm sure. I'll kind of be hoping that she does a little bit well, but we win. That's always the case when your mates are playing, but and your teammates obviously for England. But I'm sure it'll be a good event, and hopefully get a few people in to come watch us.
You play cricket all around the world, and it's not just what's happening here with the WBBL, but we think of what's happening in India, what's happening in England with the 100, the explosion of women's cricket. But just to come back here to Australia again, how significant, how important is it that you keep coming back and are part of such a special tournament?
Yeah, I really enjoy playing in the Big Bash. I've obviously played in the first one 10 years ago. And yeah, it's a really cool competition, like seeing how it's grown. And I really like playing for the same team as well. I think obviously I've played at Thunder like for the last 3 years and played a few years ago as well, obviously when we won it. So yeah, it does feel like home. It feels like coming back to a team that you know and you're comfortable and you have a lot of loyalty for, which isn't always the case in franchise competition sometimes when you sort of hop in between different teams and things like that. So yeah, it's a competition that the standard is really good. Obviously, with the competitions around the world are really cool to play in, like the hundreds, amazing, WPL and the Big Bash. They're all up there as the best tournaments in my eyes. But yeah, coming to play to Australia, it's obviously an amazing country as well.
The importance of having the international players playing in the WBBL. So obviously it adds better quality to the standard of the cricket, but how much do you learn when you've got the international stars come in and play with you? Do you use them as a sponge to get as much information out of them as possible?
Love the concept of having internationals come in and play, and the flexibility of players to move around. And I agree with Heather's point around when international players can be with teams for a period of time. I do feel like it brings a nice sense of connection to a team, but yeah, I'm a massive sponge when it comes to the internationals. I feel like it also keeps it quite fresh with your domestic players as well. Adds another element of fun and just a new dynamic, getting to know new people. And yeah, definitely just learning from different countries' skill sets and things like that. But yeah, I've been really lucky to play with some really cool people throughout my time in the WBBL and against some really awesome opposition players as well, which I think sometimes is equally as important as playing with them.
So Heather, for you, as one of the most experienced players in the world, are you still learning? Are you still asking questions of some of the players that you wouldn't normally play with, or are you more the one that you're getting all the questions from all the younger players?
I think it's important, whatever stage you are, you're still looking better and still looking to pick up different things from different players, whether that's sometimes learning from younger players around their mindset and how like it was when you were younger and coming into an environment, and sometimes you don't have that baggage when you're a younger player. You're just able to go and play freely. So I think it's really important, even as older players, to learn from that and connect and learn from different environments that you play in. And obviously being the youngest overseas with Chamari and Shab, so I'm obviously looking to learn from them. And they're two overseas that I love playing with and know really well. And Chamari in particular always is chewing my ear off about cricket and when I'm driving around Sydney. So I love chatting cricket with her. And Shabs is obviously like an amazing bowler that has done so much in the game, and talking to her about cricket as well is kind of cool. I think any environment you go into, you want to take little bits, and obviously from coaches as well, different coaches that you work with. I think it's quite nice that now as cricketers we sort of hop into different environments and work with different people, and like sometimes you have to filter different things, but you can really pick up some really like great nuggets of information around your game or how someone operates or how they coach, and philosophies on how the game is progressing and how to play and things like that. So that's a really cool thing about franchise cricket. I've got a question for you, Nick, actually. You've obviously got 3 Brits playing with you this year. Who are you looking forward to playing with the most?
It's really cool, actually. We're so excited to have Caps back. Obviously, she was awesome for us last year, and I've been lucky enough to play with her at the Stars as well. So I'm really keen to play with her again. But I think Davina Perrin, now we've also got Izzy Wong as well. But I think Dav, we saw her explode onto the scene last 100, but I think the one most recently where she was a really consistent performer and scored that massive 100. She looks like she plays a really exciting brand of cricket, which I think suits the Renegades brand perfectly. But yeah, really excited to spend some time with all of them. But I think Davina especially. Now, I know you just said you love talking cricket, which is really cool because I'm not sure if the Thunder Girls have worded you up yet. I know you haven't been in town for long, but I'm not sure if they've given you the heads up on Hazrat Gill. I'm glad you like talking about cricket because this kid is going to absolutely love you. She's going
to chew her ear off. That's what she's going to do.
Gosh, Hazrat just she loves the game, and I think she's probably one that she's going to probably buddy up to and spend heaps of time with you, and she's going to ask you lots of questions. So I think that's pretty exciting probably for her.
To be fair, we had a sort of welcome barefoot bowls the other day, and it was like my first time meeting the new players and stuff, and she was straight up and introduced herself, and I got a message the next morning saying, "Oh, are you going to training? Can I jump in the car with you?" But I wasn't training yesterday, so yeah, I've got a feeling that I'm going to get my ear chewed off at some point. But I hear she's a really talented young cricketer, so I'm pretty happy to chat to her and obviously see what she can do for the Thunder this year.
You may need a restraining order, but hopefully you can get through the first couple of weeks before you need to be worrying about that. Heather, thanks so much for joining us. Really appreciate it. I know you're very tired, having not long jumped off the plane. It's great to have you here again for another version of WBBL. I think you're in one of the strongest teams, so we're looking forward to seeing lots of really good cricket from the light green this year.
Nice one. Thanks for having me, guys.
Heather Knight joining us from Sydney ahead of the opening game on Sunday.
Especially. Now, I know you just said you love talking cricket, which is really cool because I'm not sure if the Thunder Girls have worded you up yet. I know you haven't been in town for long, but I'm not sure if they've given you the heads up on Hazrat Gill. I'm glad you like talking about cricket because this kid is going to absolutely love you. She's going
to chew her ear off. That's what she's going to do.
Gosh, Hazrat just she loves the game, and I think she's probably one that she's going to probably buddy up to and spend heaps of time with you, and she's going to ask you lots of questions. So I think that's pretty exciting probably for her.
Yeah, to be fair, we had a sort of welcome barefoot bowls the other day, and it was like my first time meeting the new players and stuff, and she was straight up and introduced herself, and I got a message the next morning saying, "Oh, are you going to training? Can I jump in the car with you?" But I wasn't training yesterday, so yeah, I've got a feeling that I'm going to get my ear chewed off at some point. But I hear she's a really talented young cricketer, so I'm pretty happy to chat to her and obviously see what she can do for the Thunder this year.
You may need a restraining order, but hopefully you can get through the first couple of weeks before you need to be worrying about that. Heather, thanks so much for joining us. Really appreciate it. I know you're very tired, having not long jumped off the plane. It's great to have you here again for another version of WBBL. I think you're in one of the strongest teams, so we're looking forward to seeing lots of really good cricket from the light green this year.
Nice one. Thanks for having me, guys.
Heather Knight joining us from Sydney ahead of the opening game on Sunday.